exposing the hate and exploring the love. This is the Truth Frequency Radio Network.
Hola, this is Sienna inviting you to join me tonight as we navigate through the seen and the unseen, explore external and internal realities, expose on-world and off-world agendas, discover a path to joy and freedom. Now, join me as we illuminate the Shadowland and reclaim our birthright as free and sovereign beings.
Good evening, everyone. This is Sienna Leia, and you are at Illuminating the Shadowland. I'm here talking to Marco Missinato from Rome. Good evening, Marco.
Hello, Sienna. It's so lovely to be able to spend some time with you and your wonderful audience. Thank you for having me.
Well, I have been enjoying your music. Marco is a composer of extraordinary music that we used at the Rise Multiversity Roundtable launch. I listen to it often because it truly does shift the energy in an incredible way. You have had an amazing journey here with your music, and I thought in order to bring our audience in with us and to really appreciate and lift the frequency and bring us where we need to have this communication, we could start right with some of your music right now. Would that be okay, Marco?
Oh, that would be just wonderful. Thank you. Thank you.
So let's everybody take a minute to breathe, cozy up, relax, and open yourself to this extraordinary man and this extraordinary frequency that he's bringing to the planet. needed that this morning. I really did. Your music, Marco, is so needed right now. It's such an incredible time, and it's such a challenging time. Where do we begin? You have an incredible resume. I'd like to fill the listeners in a little bit on what you did in terms of all of this extraordinary music. At the beginning of the 90s, Marco left Italy for Los Angeles to dedicate himself to his passion. In 1992, he graduated as a vocalist from the national acclaimed Hollywood Musicians Institute. 1 year later, he recorded his first instrumental album, Nostalgia, which he entirely self-financed by singing Italian and international hits in restaurants and clubs. Shortly after the release of Nostalgia, Marco met Oscar-nominated actress Sally Kirkland, Hanna, who engaged him as a composer and singer-musician in the theatrical show Nonnie Bruce and the Power of Love. In 1994, he founded Music M, his music production company. In the same year, he made his singing debut in his next album, Marco Missinato. His vast popularity and support from his fans motivated him to record 2 albums, Amore Italiano, a collection of Italian hits and widely successful. This just goes on and on. He's been seen in the States. His music has been featured in numerous theatrical productions, as well as television series, Melrose Place, Port Charles. Marco recently finished the production of 2 new albums, Naked Soul, featuring his original solo piano works, and is performed by pianist Lilia. Music to Make Love is a collection of original instrumental and vocal pieces. He is presently working on the orchestration of Naked Soul. I guess this was a bit... And the one that we played, Marco, this is Unfolding Secrets. Is that correct? And the Call to a New Reality. That's what we played at the beginning.
Yes, that's correct. That's my latest album, Unfolding Secrets, a Symphony of the Heart. And the song that you selected is called Come With Me Into a New Reality. Yes.
Yes, and it really does take us there. And there's so much out there that's trying to take us somewhere else right now. So I thank you. It must have been an extraordinary journey. And I am fascinated by how this all came about. Would you be willing to share a bit of your journey? I know you started in the beautiful city of Rome with a gift from your mother, an upright piano, which you lived with privately in your room and began your journey. What happened after that? Can you share a bit of what your journey has been as a child and later? Well, let's start with your childhood, if you would be so kind.
Well, sure. I was born in the north part of Italy, near Venice, but soon after my birth, my family moved to the big city, to Rome. And since I can recall, like most of us, I had challenges to adjust my frequencies to the density of this reality. And my way to kind of make things a little bit easier, it was for me, it would happen that when music was playing, in whatever shape or form, it would take me instantly to a frequency that was much more giving me a sense of non-separation.
Yes.
And so my resonance with music was obvious since the very first time I can recall my physical form or journey. And then I got intimately involved with music because I knew even when I was 2 or 3 years old, I would sense if there was a musical instrument nearby, I would sense its presence and I would start to feel very excited. And so I would intuitively find it, and just to be next to it, it would give me a lot of joy and pleasure. And then I would touch the instrument, and immediately I would feel a sense of profound love, and I would feel melodies coming through. So from the very first moment, it was obvious that there was something that I had to do with music in this experience, in this brief physical experience. And as I progressed into the journey, I started to build a more sophisticated vision of what I was meant to accomplish, or at least try to accomplish in this density. And the vision was triggered by the immense sense of peace and love and oneness that I would feel when the melody would come through. And so the first wish I would have is to share that feeling with as many people as possible. And so that desire, that heart desire, it drove me and it guided me to the rest of my journey until now, today. And based on those sensation of joy and imagination, I was guided from my heart to do all the steps that I've been doing until now, and also all the steps that I will be doing in the future. So that was in a very, very short way, the way to share with you my child time. And then, of course, the adolescent time was even more intense because I have to copy with a great deal of resistance and programming, like all of us have to. But again, music was always there. It was always gently and also very powerfully allow me to overcome all those ideas that come from the matrix. And so somehow I always managed to stay out of the matrix, never be completely into the forgetfulness that the programming imposed upon all of us. So that allowed me to continue my journey by following my imagination and my joy rather than following my fears, like most of us choose to do at a certain point. Most of us seems to follow our fear and trust our fear much more than our joy. But again, since I have this strong support that was coming from sound and music, I was able to make a more organic sequence of choices for my life.
Well, and I have a sense that it was not such an easy journey. I feel that you've gone through incredible challenges and held this frequency, which is what I find exceedingly inspiring, because it feels that you did have a lot of people that just didn't get where you were, and a lot of obstacles. And here, and illuminating the Shadowland, we talk a lot about what it takes to alchemize the shadow energies, what you're calling the matrix energies, because everybody is faced with that. And so if wouldn't mind, we would like to hear a little bit about some of the dark nights of the soul that you've been through, and the places where you used this creative connection to, I don't know how you look at to your own higher source, to make it through. If you could go a little bit deeper into what you were actually faced with, that would be beautiful.
Sure. Well, the biggest help for me was the inner capability to constantly forgive whatever I was experiencing in negative way. So there was a mechanism, and there is still a mechanism within myself. So every time I go through something hard and something heavily separative or difficult or dark, it seems like almost immediately after the experience, I automatically am able to forgive and release whatever is there, and I immediately feel love for the experience, no matter how hard and dark it was. So that allowed me to progress into the journey without accumulation of anger and resentment and even deeper negative feeling like hatred. I don't even know what it means. I never experienced that frequency, so I don't know how it feels like. But I know that many people do have that experience, which is of course a valuable experience because we experience light sometimes through contrast, through understanding darkness. So that was one of the factors that supported me in stay awakened and not fall asleep. The idea that I was constantly be able to forgive the sometimes harshness that life was offering me through the three-dimensional experience. And what else can I share with you? Yes, of course, we all pass through a great deal of difficulties, and what I'm sharing with you is not just for a few elected. It's really for everybody. We all are master of lights here, and we are all very special. In fact, one of the intent of what I'm doing is to inspire others by sharing the product of my gift. I hope to trigger or to inspire others to do the same with their own, and because that's the game that is necessary at this moment of the awakening time. We need to really take full responsibility of the gift that we have, and everyone has a gift, no exceptions, and a very unique way to bring the light into the planet. And so, if we all do that, our reality will be transformed instantly.
Yes, absolutely. And so did you suffer from physical illness? Did you suffer from poverty? What were the specific things because it's so extraordinary that you have brought down this incredible heavenly fifth dimensional reality and just adhered to it, and it doesn't feel that you've outsourced your light to any other religion or dogma or belief. It feels like you're bringing in your own soul heart essence and made it such an incredibly focused discipline, and it's allowed you to transmute incredible challenges in your life. So you are a model for all of us, because we continually get bombarded with so much toxicity in our world, and so much, I suppose you could call it the illusion of the artificial construct, but it seems to be getting thicker and more virulent on one side, and yet then there are these glorious people such as yourself, not that there are that many, that are bringing in a whole other dimension of reality that seems to be getting also stronger and fuller. So I thank you so much for modeling that reality. But, there are a lot of us that are definitely getting caught in some of the oppression as it rolls in.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, one thing that we need to comprehend, for example, that could help us a lot, is that we need to understand that this physical form is not all we got. It's just a very, very brief, short experience that for the soul is like a blink of the eye. And we are eternal beings. We always be living, and we will always be existing in whatever shape or form. And so once you start to expand your vision of what you're experiencing right now to such a degree, then whatever happened in the 3D, you don't take it too seriously. You don't get too much engaged in it. And so, because you know that it's just a momentary experience for the soul. And that helps a lot,
Well, so how do you resist the temptations of the Matrix? There are so many temptations out there for people. We get bombarded. Even in the music industry, so much of music is nothing like the music you're representing. It's really very seductive, very trance-like. You know what I mean.
Yes.
And, yeah, the young people are really so seduced into their iPods and their iPads and their cell phones and their iTunes, and in order to escape from such an oppressive density, people seem to be getting more dissociated, especially the young ones, playing video games with horrible violence, you know, in every spare moment. And even when you were in America, I know Sedona is different, but the people sitting on street corners waiting for buses, in the Starbucks, everywhere, with their face in these screens, just soaking in frequencies that are really shutting down their sensitivity, their connection to intimacy. Your music is so beautiful. It feels so intimate. It feels like a beautiful love affair with the most tender and exalted parts of the human soul, for which I just am greatly appreciative, Marco. But there is such a war against this happening right now. So I don't know what we can even say to the youth, because it's hard for them to even discriminate what is the real connection to source and what is what they're being fed on a daily basis. I don't know if you want to address any of that.
Yes. I think all is based on resonance. And so, in my perception, I am not so much worried about all the darkness that is occurring right now in the world. Where I'm focusing in to stay in the highest vibrational offer I can possibly, and then by resonance, the resonating soul will come close, and the ones that are not resonating will dissipate, or they will not see me as much as I won't see them. And that will create exactly the harmony that is necessary. And for those souls that are deep into the separation, the illusion of separation, they need to experience that. There is value in that too. And of course, that's what we need to do. We need to stand in a sort of non-judgmental position and just follow the formula that I follow is follow my joy and my imagination with no expectations. And then the how is really none of my business. The how is orchestrated by my higher self.
Okay.
But of course, I am constantly facing a lot of challenges. And in fact, the more you raise your vibration, the bigger are the challenges, because the more you're the light, the more darkness attacks you, right? So
yes.
Right now it's interesting because I am proposing a vehicle through the idea of sounds and music that is still not quite comprehended by for example, by the medias, by the mainstream medias. So I have to, in a way, if I start to have expectations, then I will have to pull out a lot of patience because the world is moving forward rapidly right now, but still very slow from my point of view, because for me everything is outdated here. It's like, come on, when are you going to? It's so obvious, but this is not the way to go, you know. Yeah. But as soon as I let go of the expectation, then I say I immerse myself in the now, and then everything is fine. I keep doing what I love to do. And actually, when I position myself in that kind of vibrational offer, then the divine synchronicity can operate much more powerfully, because my ego is not in between the process, the creative process, you know?
Yes.
But for example, I'm noticing right now we are working on doing some concerts in Europe, and we are tapping into more a 3D music approach. And of course, for example, they say, we love your music, but absolutely do not talk about metaphysical stuff. You know.
We have to go to break right now, Let's pick up this conversation. Thank you. I'm here with extraordinary human being and musician Marco Missinato. We'll be right back, everyone. Stay with us. Welcome back, everyone. This is Sienna at Illuminating the Shadowland. I'm here today with Marco Missinato, and we are discussing the incredible soul alchemy of being a composer as he is and bringing extraordinary music to this planet. So, Marco, right before the break, you were talking about that you're starting a new campaign, a bit more 3D, and people are telling you just don't talk about anything metaphysical.
Yes, that was one of the requests. So that already tells me a lot of what I'm getting into. But it doesn't really matter because the music will speak by itself, you know. So it is not necessary to embellish or bring information to a situation that are not still ready to hear those kind of informations. And the beauty of music is that it is not why if you speak the words, the mind can always manipulate the words and create something else and lower the frequencies of the words or change the frequency of the words. But when it comes to music, the mind doesn't really find anything that it can grab on. So you just have to either allow the music to come through, or you will have to leave and turn off the music. And so that's why music is so powerful, because it doesn't allow the mind to play their usual games, you know.
Well, it's true, because this artificial intelligence is so everywhere, and it is a minefield. And it seems that the thing that the AI really doesn't want to have happen is for us to come together in a field of this beautiful devotional love and great respect for one another and great honoring that when we really reach that level, we can't be manipulated anymore.
That's
Would you agree?
Yes, absolutely.
And, you know, we get so seduced into all of the many distractions, and it's been such a difficult thing to keep our hearts open when we're under attack from so many different levels and it's suffered so many horrible traumas. And that's the thing that really I find extraordinary with you, because, for example, when you first came to America, you came here like with no money, is that right? I mean, what was that like for you to show up with absolutely nothing on pure faith, that being called by this music that you're manifesting?
Well, I had such a great enthusiasm and passion, and I felt so good about it. And I felt so alive by making a choice that was taking me outside the comfort zone. Because it's only when you step from your comfort zone that you can allow magic to step in and dance with you. So, yes, it was very hard. I have just a few dollars in my pockets. I have a keyboard. But I was so strong in my passion and enthusiasm that somehow everything that was coming to me in form of challenge was welcome. And so the first probably 7-8 years where I had some very hard challenges from many different directions, and the challenges are still there. Now they're in different shape and form, but challenge is part of this life. I mean, otherwise, actually, if you try to live a life with no challenges, it would be probably a boring life. It would be a very unfulfilling life, you know. So yes, a lot of challenges. I started playing in small restaurants. At the time, I didn't even speak English, so that was another challenge. But somehow there was always this little voice inside me, or big voice inside me, that was telling me, "Don't worry, everything is fine. Just keep doing. Just keep going with your journey." And so, surprisingly, I started to sing actually in restaurants, and that's how I made my living for the coming about 20 years. I progressed more and more into higher level of singing and performing. I started with small little tiny restaurants, and then I started to get into bigger hotel, bigger events, bigger weddings, and then I started to get into the celebrity houses and the rich and famous environment. And so it started to become a little bit easier. Although, of course, that kind of performance, it's always very 3D. So it's always very, if you don't have the right attitude, it can be very draining because it's music that is meant for the most to entertain you.
Yeah.
And music is so much, in my perception, is so much more than entertaining. And so for me, it was like sometimes was very draining to expose the music in that way. But it was a blessing at the same time because I was able to make some money. And with that money, I was able to keep producing original music. And so I started to build a library of music, which most I didn't expose to the music industry because that was another challenge. The music industry wasn't in my heart resonating at all. For some reason, every time I would come closer to the music industry, I would feel a strong, very almost overwhelming contraction in my stomach.
Yeah.
So I knew that was a message that was telling me, do not connect with this kind of vibration because that's not what you're meant to do. And although I had some opportunity to get record deals and to become I don't know, somebody that could have been known or famous, I don't know. But I always, I never felt doing that. And my inner voice, my heart was telling me to wait because the time wasn't there yet for me to expose the music. And it's only in the last 1 year that I'm fully exposing the product because energetically it seems like we are in the right resonance right now to accomplish what needs to be accomplished.
Wow, just in this last year. So you held this higher vision and just paid your dues and sang wherever you could and had to go through all of that energy and holding your energy for 20 years. Wow.
Well, yeah, even more than that, because also when I was in Rome, of course, it wasn't the right time. And also I had to also work within myself to become a match to the vision that I want to crystallize in this 3D. So I had to pass through all the layers of what it means to be human so that I could comprehend humanity.
I would like to hear a little bit more about that because that's a lot of what my listeners expect from the shows. Would you mind diving a little deeper into some of those layers for us?
Well, yes, of course. When we come into the physical form, most of us, maybe not all of us, but most of us are in a very pure state, in a state of innocence. And some of us already bring past layers of experiences. In my case, I was very, very pure, and I didn't know what fear was, what sadness was, what all these different colors of the separation, the illusion of separation, were about. And so I had to get a feel of some of them, not all of them, but some of them, so that I could comprehend and relate better with humanity. So I walked through a tremendous amount of solitude. So I understand what solitude means. And I experienced the sadness, I experienced the frustrations, and I experienced all these different layers of I would say dark vibrations. However, I always it was a very valuable experience for me, and it worked very well. And I never really got deep into those feelings. It was just a glimpse of them, so that I could understand. So that now, if somebody says I am sad, or I am frustrated, or I am in fear, I can understand what they're saying, And so that was my experience. And also, it was important because it wasn't the right time. The divine time for what I need to do, it wasn't there yet. And if the music would have found a place out there before its own time, it would have burned instantly and then disappear. While by making music right now, it has a much more impact on humanity and a much greater longevity.
Were you seduced by various forces, or attempted to be seduced away from your path? As you were in LA, right? You were in Hollywood for a lot of that time, right?
Yes.
Because there are some pretty satanic energies, and there's the darkest of the dark energies that are buying for millions and billions of dollars of product there. That's a pretty intense world.
Yes, it is. I kind of come close to that world, but for some reason I never really felt a resonance with those offerings, because to me the mundane aspect of living really doesn't have so much of a resonance. I really don't. And also, as long during the process, you start to grow more and more in self-love, and so the more your sense of self-love grows, the less this offering can have an impact on you, because you understand the real value of what is important to you, and you're not needy. You are not in fear, because the love for yourself sustains you. And so you don't come from a place of neediness and fear, and so your discernment starts to grow exponentially, and you become more and more organic with what you do, and you have a higher level of integrity, and you become uncorruptible.
Wow. I would like to play another piece, if we could, at this point. We have about 20 minutes left, and I would just like my listenership to bask in this incredible music of yours, and then we can see where we want to go after that. Okay, Marco?
That sounds very good. Thank you.
Wow. I am finding it hard to speak after listening to your music. I was just feeling that I would love to put a like a lounge room for Rise Multiversity where people can just go and download this and just take a minute and just be with this music. It can just shift you right back to your heart, soul, essence in just the most lovely, gentle way. Marco. So amazing.
Thank you.
All right. Sorry, you all, but I get completely in another dimension and I have no words. Let's see here. What would you like to share with us, Marco, in this remaining time here on Illuminating the Shadowland? If you had anything to say to, we mainly have an American audience that's going to living right there in the heart of the beast. What would you say to the people that you just came back from America?
Yes, I actually right now I'm in Rome. I will be here for a few weeks, a few months, because we are addressing this concert in Germany. Well, about America, it's a country that I love very much. There is so much potentiality in the USA, and I think this potentiality, although it seems not the case, but I have the feeling that it's coming to its own full fulfillment right now, in the next few months, few years, I think we're going to see some amazing changes because the people over there there is such an incredible diversity of beautiful souls, and it is really the fifth-dimensional experience once the Constitution is 100% applied as it was supposed to. I think there's going to be an immense potentiality. And I really, really hope we are working really hard to be able to produce a tour all over USA so that we can offer the music and the female activation and the heart activation that the music is embedded with. Because I can see we did a couple of concerts in America so far, and we see how incredibly resonating and how profoundly responsive are people from this music, because allow them to fully step into the depth of their emotions, which is for many people in this world something very difficult to do, because we've been trained not to use our emotions, not to acknowledge our emotions, to actually play cool all the time, and as if to show emotion is a sign of weakness, which is of course is not true. It's actually a sign of strength. But this emotion that is stuck within our belly needs to be released, so that we can connect with the sounds, the unique sounds that is within ourselves. You see, in my perception, we all come from sounds, and we all have a very special musical notes within our heart. And once we release all the emotions that we've been compressing through the years, we will find that note, and then we will be able to go back from a state of dissonance. We will be able to tune in again with the symphony of the universe, and that is the vision of this concert, Unfolding Secrets, that we are creating, and we want to bring to all the places in America.
Wow, we can certainly use it there. Now you just finished doing something to do with 144,000 souls in Sedona. How is that, and how can people access that concert? I believe you recorded it as well.
Yes, well, 144,000 is a concert series, and Sedona was the very first concert of it. The idea is connected to the number 144,000, which has a very particular energy. Many say that there are 144,000 awakened people that will awaken completely the world. And also many scientists are aware that the number 144,000 represents critical mass, which means that the idea is that to be able, as we progress into the series of concerts, we will be able to finally reach 144,000 souls that simultaneously they connect with the energy of the music via live streaming or being in the theater. And once we reach that number of people that are focusing on their heart through the energy of the music, we will create a critical mass, and so all humanity will feel the benefit of that. And so that is the idea, to reach 145,000 and eventually 144 million down in the road.
Beautiful. So now how can people contribute, help, support, get your music and participate? We have about 5 minutes or less.
Yes.
Now.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Well, of course, we are right now very much open to receive any kind of support: monetary support, energetical support, networking support. We have several websites right now. One is unfoldingsecrets.com. The other one is symphonyoftheheart.com. The music of my entire library can be listened to for free on my website, which is marcomissinato.com. And of course, it can be also purchased if somebody desires to do so within the website. And we are looking for expanding our team, welcoming, of course, founders, event coordinator, event facilitators, people that find a resonance with the music and wants to be part of it in whatever shape and form, creatively, business-wise. We really are right now extending a call to people. Of course, the biggest challenge, as usual, is money, because a concert is very expensive to do. So every time we do have a concert, we have many thousands of dollars or euros to spend. Yes. And so that would be a wonderful way to be supportive, but also energetically it would be just as wonderful, you know, to receive a support from your heart and from your soul, okay, and to spread the word. Yes.
Yes, beautiful. Marco Missinato, MISSINATO.com. Thank you, everybody. Have a chance to listen to this marvelous music. We send our love to each and every one of you. Good night.